Welcome back to the locker room, everybody. Tunch and Wolf with our special guest, Tony DeFazio from the Pittsburgh Sports Report. And before we even get started in our discussion about college football, Tony, Pittsburgh Sports Report, I mean, I get your publication. It is phenomenal, very, very insightful. For those of our viewers who might not know what it is, why don't you give us a little brief?
What is it?
Well, we're a...
Wolf gets it, he doesn't even know what it is.
I know what it is. It's prominent in my gym. There's a whole display.
That's what I like to hear.
That's
exactly,
right.
Exactly. No, we're a monthly publication. Actually, this is good timing because we're celebrating our 10th anniversary as a company here in a couple of months. Yeah,
congratulations!
Early next year, it'll be 10 years. So
that's right. Wolf had his third anniversary. No, so Wolf had his 10th anniversary. Yeah. Wolf had his 10th anniversary.
And everybody remembers.
And this is the first time in the last 3 years he hasn't forgot. Carry on.
I don't want to. I don't want to get involved in that. I got my own problems.
Yeah.
But you guys know Ellis Cannon,
right? Sure.
That Cannon guy.
Exactly.
Who's that guy? I think I know him.
Yeah. Ellis is our publisher. Right. He was a trial attorney about 10 years ago and decided he wanted to get into a different business. So we started up. We started out as a little newsletter stapled together, and he's grown it into a monthly publication now. And of course, Ellis has the radio, and we also have a second publication called Kids Sports Magazine, which your gym also carries. Again,
yes, it does.
Big thumbs up for that. Absolutely. So Kids Sports is a guide for parents whose kids play sports. Pretty simple. It offers nutrition tips on different sports and so forth. So the whole package is Pittsburgh Sports Report Inc. And we try to offer something a little bit different than you're going to read every day in the Post Gazette and the Trib. Obviously, those are the the leading print sports media in town. But we offer a pretty solid alternative. We think.
How can you get to ordering it if you want to?
Well, check out our website, pghsports.com. You can find out all the information that's available as far as ordering it there. And we're also every Dick's Sporting Goods in town. We're available there.
Me and I messed up.
That's okay. That's okay. My bad. I was a little slow. So here's the deal. Your editor is a Planet E. We bust his chops. Okay. So did he get that from the Daily Planet? See, if he was the editor of the Daily Planet, he'd be the Planet E editor of the Daily Planet.
He's not in the office long enough for me.
He's not allowed. I bust him all the time about being a Planet.
Well, he is the publisher, right? I mean,
he's the publisher.
Does he
That's
print it?
not
No, that's the printer, right? He doesn't do the actual zing. And
no, he doesn't.
He's the publisher,
he's
not
the publisher,
the editor.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Correct.
All right. Well, let's shift gears. Talk a little college football now.
Yeah.
Crazy kind of year. First of all, what did you think about West Virginia going down to Louisville?
You know what? I got to say, I wasn't completely shocked by that. I think Louisville is simply just a more solid and a more balanced football team. Everybody talked about how you can probably pick on West Virginia's defense a little bit, and Louisville certainly did that. I mean, West Virginia really had no answers for that passing game. The one thing that West Virginia did impress me with, and maybe they should have done this a little bit more. Everyone said Pat White can't throw the ball. If you get ahead, he can't throw the ball. He looked pretty good. I mean, I think he only threw 22 passes in that game. But Pat White can throw the ball a little bit, and maybe they want to think about taking that leash away from him a little bit and letting him, finding out what he can do. I mean, there's nothing to lose at this point. But
Steve Slayton had a problem with his hand, came back late. Has there been any sort of discussion about what the injury was, and is he okay from it?
Yeah, he is okay. I guess supposedly he, Rich Rodriguez said it was just as simple as him getting a whack on the funny bone.
That bone's not too funny.
No, it's not too funny. I guess, but messed up the nerves a little bit, and he had no feeling in the hand. And that's why I said it was a little bit difficult to hang on to the football. Rich Rodriguez said that. Steve Slayton said, no excuses, I fumbled the ball. That's the end of the story. So, you like to see that kind of response when something like that happens.
Tony, what happens if Rutgers beats Louisville?
Boy, what a great question, huh?
What
a great question. I mean, they're so far back.
Yeah.
They started out so far back in the rankings and stuff. It's going to be hard for them to make up that ground. But, man, oh, man, if they beat Louisville and then they have West Virginia the final game of the year, all of a sudden
Rutgers
you're
in
really
the top 5.
No kidding. I mean,
Zeus, could you imagine that fiasco if everybody beats everybody?
That would be the thing. I mean, what a fiasco that would be, no question. Because again, they are so far behind everybody in the BCS rankings and everything. So they can certainly make it difficult on everybody, and they have a good defense. So which West Virginia really didn't. So that's tonight actually. West Virginia. Louisville.
That is tonight.
Louisville Rutgers.
Oh, by the way, that is tonight.
What is tonight?
The game.
Okay. So Michigan, Ohio State will be playing to play for the national championship. Is there any chance that if that's a close game, the loser has one loss, the other one wins out, that they end up in a rematch in the national championship game?
I think there's a chance. I mean, what if that's a 27-24 overtime game?
Right.
I mean, then you have some, you have some real questions. I mean, those guys beating each other up. I think there is a chance. If it's a blowout, I obviously think if someone else runs the table that they're going to get the chance at it. But there are a lot, I don't know what you guys think about that. There are a lot of people who think the loser of that game shouldn't deserve a rematch. The loser of the Ohio State-Michigan.
Right. Well, game. If I'm a Rutgers fan, and Rutgers is undefeated, I'm absolutely thinking Rutgers is the winner of that game.
I agree with that.
You always got to have the rematch.
Well, I hope it gets more and more complicated. So finally, they go to a playoff system. I mean, everybody's clamming for it, Tony. What is the deal?
I don't think it makes any sense. I mean, you have these university presidents saying, it takes the kids out of class for too long.
Oh, come on.
Exactly. I mean, they don't. Yeah. Every other sport does.
Yeah, write me the check, and you can take anybody out of class anytime you want.
I guess the issue probably is the money that comes with the bowl system. Yeah. But I got to think there's a way to do it and still have the bowls. You can still have some bowls. That can be almost a secondary type of a prize for a team, and people are going to watch it. They watch them now. They're going to watch them then. If they do, go to a playoff.
I can't believe the magnitude of an NCAA football playoff.
How exciting would that be?
Huge. That'd be gigantic.
Joe Paterno's talked about this for years and years and years. His old, he always wanted to say, play the national championship game the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Extend the season for throughout January, and what a great sports weekend that would be.
Absolutely.
That would be smoking.
Speaking of Joe Pa goes down hard.
What a tough guy, though. Huh?
Nobody wants to. He doesn't want to go off. They had surgery, and he wants to coach this weekend.
Unbelievable. I mean, if you're playing for Penn State and your wrist is bothering you or your toes bothering you or whatever, you got to think twice about that. Now your coach is out there with a broken leg, beating people up, blown out knee. He's got it's unbelievable, guys. Unbelievably
if
tough.
You talk to him, tell him, see, you should keep your head on a swivel at all the time. So you just never know.
Well, what's interesting? It's the same kid. He got hurt a couple of weeks ago at practice. And he also obviously got rolled into this past weekend. Same kid, a freshman tight end. I wouldn't want to be that poor kid.
His scholarship's gone. That scholarship's gone.
Literally,
he's the Jopa hunter.
He'll be going down. He'll be going down there. Who's your pick for the Heisman?
Boy, I got to think it's Troy Smith right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gotten so much better. If you remember last year when Penn State hosted Ohio State, and Ohio State, if they just got some better quarterback play out of Smith, might have been able to win that game. He's just come so far. I think he's become a good passer now. He's a very good leader of that team. He doesn't try to do too much. There's some other guys that are very interesting to watch, but I really think Troy Smith will have to completely fall on his face at this point.
Troy Smith
for someone else.
That guy, you think he's that good?
I think he's the best college player right now. I do, and he's the best college player playing for a good football team, and I think that helps you too. There's guys out there playing for teams that are 6-3 or 4-6 or whatever that just aren't going to get those kind of looks. But playing for a great team and as good as they are, and he's really running that offense so efficiently. I think he's got to be the leader.
Who else do we think about? Do we need to be kind of thinking about for an opportunity playing the national championship game?
Well, Louisville's got their table set for them.
Right.
All they need to do, they need to beat an undefeated Rutgers team and win out. That's a pretty big that's a pretty big challenge for them. But I think Louisville has got it all set up for them right now. You look behind them, you see Florida's right there. If Louisville stumbles, Florida's right there to pounce. There's a couple of one-loss SEC teams that are going to give some people fits. So. But again, if Louisville wins out, and they got to hope someone blows somebody out in the Ohio State-Michigan game.
We take a break. When we come back, we will still be talking to Tony DeFazio, but we're going to be talking about WPIAL football playoffs right here in Oaxaca.